Hello and welcome to week number 4 of the SDNL. My name is Indomitable Will. I'm going to be filling in for Simtenson today because his audio was a little scuffed, so he asked in our group chat if someone could commentate for him in English, and so I said I was willing to do it, so here I am. For those of you who do not know me, I am the opponent he faced last week in the SDNL, the one with the Tariff Lettermane. So yeah, that's who I am. Okay, so we see a choice specs on the Miraidon, a black belt on the Iron Valiant to boost its fighting type attacks. Then we have leftovers on Tinglu, heavy duty boots on Volcarona, and another black belt on the Quaquavel. The opponent has brought Trapinch, Iron Treads, Zacian, Necrozma, Dawn Wings, Darkrai, and Iron Hands. So we see Ogerpon lead. Alright. Let's see how this goes. Alright, we see Iron Treads versus Ogerpon lead. We see the nickname Ogre Pancake, and on the other side the nickname is First Pick. Let's see. Okay, it looks like we're just gonna fire off an Ivy Cudgel here. It's gonna deal massive damage to this Iron Treads. It's gonna take it out, actually. Wow, that's a great start. Already up to a 6-5 lead. No fear of the Akaberry. And we see Iron Hands come out. If this were me playing, I'd be inclined to just Ivy Cudgel again. Just for as much damage on the Iron Hands as possible, but we see him thinking about what he's gonna do here. Just a U-turn. Alright. Now we get to see if this thing is Rocky Helmet. It is not. Okay. What's the switch in to Iron Hands, though? Not a whole lot wants to come in on it. Is it just Miraidon? Miraidon doesn't really want to take a CC to the face. I guess it's just Volcarona. Yeah. That makes the most sense, especially if you're predicting the CC. And it's just gonna go straight for the Earthquake. That's a little unfortunate because you lose about half of your health on Volcarona there. Let's see. We see you looking at the preview a little bit more. Just going for the Will-O-Wisp on the Iron Hands. I like this play a lot because it's going to cripple the Iron Hands from doing any further damage, which is good because we don't really have a switch in here. That next Earthquake is not going to kill, and The burn on Iron Hands is fantastic here. So now we see a Morning Sun just going to heal up, which is fantastic as the Iron Hand switches out. In comes Lolaland, the Necrozma Dawn Wings. I'm going to guess, by the way he brought this in, that this is probably a Meteor Beam set. If so, that's pretty dangerous for the Volcarona here. Very, very risky position to be in. I guess the Tinglu can come in. However, we do have to keep in mind that the Necrozma is in fact Terra, and because it's Terra, we do not know what typing it could be in this league. And we see a Keyberry on the U-turn, so now it gets a +1 defense boost. And we just see go out into Tinglu here as the Necrozma goes for Calm Mind. Very scary. We're just gonna see a Ruination take this thing down to half. This is a demonic Tinglu set. Rest Talk, Ruination, Earthquake. That's such a demon Tinglu. Let's see. What Terra are you? You are Terra Ice? Yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense for the Tinglu, and like the Miraidon. It's not gonna do a whole lot of damage though. And we do see this Necrozma getting taken down to half. Ice makes it more susceptible to fighting damage, which is good for Quaquaval, and that is what we're going to go into here, which makes sense because it doesn't really make sense for him to click a Psychic move into Tinglu or a Dark type, so he just goes for another Calm Mind. And Quaquaval probably picks up a kill here. I'd assume, anyway. So let's see. We see a Burned Iron Hands and a Dead Iron Treads, so this is really just a all-out offensive game plan here. We see the close combat. Black Belt boosted, and it does not knock out the Necrozma. And just the Moonlight is going to be fired off here. And that's actually pretty scary. I don't think the Quaquaval wins this 1v1. We're gonna further drop the defenses with close combats, and I assume it's just going to be a close combat Moonlight War here. Oh, nope, there's the Moongeist Beam. So we've seen Moongeist Beam, Calm Mind, Moonlight, Terra Blast. So we've seen this thing's entire set. That +1 defense from the Keyberry is really, really helping it live. Ogerpon is probably what comes out here. Can hit it with a super effective Ivy Cudgel. Ivy Cudgel also has a pretty high crit chance, so that does seem to be what we go for here. See the Ivy Cudgel, take out the Necrozma. Threat neutralized. Alright. This Ogerpon's putting in work. In comes the Iron Hands, which is burnt. I think this is your best thing to take it on at this point. Like, Iron Hands hits everything else super effectively, I'm pretty sure, between like Heavy Slam and its stabs. And like, I guess Play Rough for the Miraidon. So honestly, if it were me, I'd just stay in and Ivy Cudgel it. The worst it can do is like rest, but then it doesn't have stab for your entire team. But we see a U-turn come out here. Ooh, Iron Valiant with Terra Poison, Poison Jab. Interesting. That was for Zacian, I'm assuming. Which, I'm not sure if we saw Zacian or not, now that I'm thinking about it. But we see Volcarona coming back in. Okay, Zacian is there. I think that's what he was checking too. Darkrai comes out here. And we see a Morning Sun getting that Volcarona back to almost full health. We just gonna see a U-turn? Yep, we just see the U-turn come out here. We love stab U-turn. Alright, so Darkrai is just going to go for Dark Pulse. It's not going to flinch, and the U-turn is going to come off. Get that nice switch initiative there. I think it's time to bring in Miraidon too. You do have to be careful about, I guess, actually no, because Iron Hands is burned. Now it can't actually rest in the electric terrain, so it can't get rid of that burn, which is actually huge for the Miraidon. Even though it's going to get a Quark Drive boost because of the burn, it's actually not going to get that extra attack. I was going to say you have to be careful about boosting the Iron Hands there, but since it's burned and cannot rest in the terrain, that's a pretty good play. And we are just going to see him fire off another U-turn here, probably on the incoming Iron Hands, I'm going to guess. Yep, I made that call exactly correct. We do see the Quark Drive. It is going to boost its attack since this thing is burned. It's not really going to care about that attack boost. Back into Volcarona probably. Either that or just Ogre Pawn for damage, but might be time for Valiant. Interestingly enough, there is no fairy move on this Valiant. That's definitely interesting to me. It's just right back into Volcarona. This thing was definitely meant to check Iron Hands. There's no switch into Fiery Dance left on this team. Actually, there was none in the first place. So, yeah, Fiery Dance looks very free here. We do have to keep in mind that the Iron Hands is Quark Drive boosted. However, because of the burn, it's going to do a lot less. No boost, but we do see the Iron Hands not able to take out the Iron Moth because of that burn. I said Iron Moth, I meant Volcarona. So many future Paradox Mons, and one of them just so happens to be a Volcarona. And we see the normal Volcarona here, and not the Iron one. That's on my team. So, yeah, it's just throwing me off a little bit. We are just going to see another Fiery Dance. And the Volcarona has done what it needed to. It got a special attack boost there and is going to take out the Iron Hands. Really, really solid. Alright, we see the Darkrai come back in. At this point, Volcarona's just basically a sack here. It's pretty fine to just sack off. You see the Sludge Bomb take out the Volcarona. And we just see the Miraidon come back in here. it's pretty much gonna get a kill, especially now that both Iron Treads and Iron Hands are gone. There's no electric resist, but we see U-turn just come out here. We see that Dark Riot is in fact Scuffed, so the U-turn's gonna come off. I think this is a perfect time to go into Ting-Lu. Yep. I was gonna say the Terra Poison Valiant, but Ting-Lu is a lot better here. Because why let Valiant take that extra damage if it doesn't have to? But yeah, we see Ting-Lu come in. It's just gonna fire off an Earthquake. We see the Sludge Bomb. No poison, which is good for us. And Darkrai goes down. We're in a really good spot here. Options. Zacian. Yeah, that's scary. Ruination on the potential Swords Dance, I'm guessing. If I'm Henny, I Swords Dance here, because, like, that's his way back into this game, I feel. And that is exactly what's going to happen. And we see the Ruination miss. That is catastrophic. That is really bad. Greedy second Swords Dance. We see the Ruination. Zacian goes to 51%. Notably, with the electric terrain up, the Ting-Lu cannot rest. Play Rough misses. Wow. That's exactly what we needed to get back into this game. Like, Play Rough missing there was phenomenal. That could have just been game right there, but I think the play here is actually to go into Miraidon, sack it, get the terrain up so that Iron Valiant will then outspeed the Zacian. I think that's kind of what you have to go for here. If your booster speed, or Quark Drive speed. And that does look to be the play here. Another Play Rough miss. Wow. And Zacian is going to take out the Miraidon here. But yeah, now Iron Valiant just gets to come in and gets to pick off the Zacian. We saw Swords Dance, so we know it's not Scarf. Speed was heightened, and we see that means we're gonna outspeed it. Do you just go for the poison jab without Terraing to not reveal that you're Terra? To not reveal your Terra? No, you just poison jab with the Terra. Or no, without it. Not to reveal the Terra. Smart move. But Iron Valiant is going to take out the Zacian here. And here comes Trapinch. Gonna get knocked. Focus Sash gone. Earthquake. Not gonna take us out. And a CC should close out this game. Quick attack. Wow. But yeah, the close combat is going to seal it up. And we are going to pull out 3-0 victory here over Henny. And yeah, that's it for this game. And I don't know the next time I will see you all, but Simon will be back next week, hopefully. And yeah, talk to y'all later.